so I can ask the mashayikh in regards to this. Is it permissible to play anime games? Games in general. This goes back to whether what you have in games, they are tasweer or not. And I've asked about this. I remember I asked a PhD professor in the Sharia University in Kuwait, and he said, I do not know, Allah knows best. He said, we cannot easily just go and say that is this tasweer or not. We have to actually, this is what he told me. He said, we have to do like a full thesis on it. Like if we can have students that actually do masters and PhD, and we see what are these engines that they make the games on. What are these machines that they put on people when they make these, and how do they draw? How do they animate? And so on and so forth. But the correct saying, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best in regards to cartoon and including games and so on, is that this is not from tasweer. This is not from tasweer. And Al-Imam bin Uthaymeen rahimahullah ta'ala, he had 2 fatwa regarding this, and in the end he said, Allahu a'lam, is that it is not from tasweer, and to watch cartoons. Yani my kid, my child opens and watches a cartoon, for example. The cartoon has a little girl and some animals or some sheep, and this is allowed on the correct saying of the people of Ilm. And I remember there is one, this was very back in the day, and I asked, because I was just, I was starting to seek ilm and so on, and I had my nephews and nieces, and they are children. They wanted to see a cartoon movie. I don't know if you know this or not. It's animation. It's anime. The cartoon is very famous, huh? Sheikh Ja'far laughs when I say the name. It's very famous. It's called Detective Conan. And I asked, I said, Sheikh, they're really, really nagging me. Uncle, watch with us, uncle. It's about detective and smart things and how cleverly he solves the problems and so on. I remember I asked the Sheikh, I said, Sheikh, is this allowed? And he said, Inshallah, ma fi illa al-afiyah. He said, Inshallah, it is allowed. Go, there's inshallah nothing wrong with it and so on. But of course, I add to what the Sheikh said, that if there is a music, you mute it. If there's a music, you turn the volume down. And I asked also, I told you Sheikh Ahmed Sabalik, who's the president of the Jami'a al-Islamiyya al-Alamiyya, who visited us twice in Kuwait, and I asked specifically about this. And the Sheikh has a different view in regards to this. The Sheikh says, I asked him, I said, Sheikh, you know about anime, you know about... He said, yes. And he told me about Conan, the same one, because it's very, very famous for us here in the Arab, in the Middle East and so on. He said that he was given the anime, he watched the full first episode. He himself, the Sheikh, he said he watched the full first episode, and he says, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best, he says that the Japanese, when they made these anime, they made it specifically for the children to have a set of knowledge and expertise that when they reach a certain age, they would have known these things. They are developing the minds in a certain way. But he told me about a study that they have made in regards to this. I don't remember the details, but this is the information, that it was dedicated at a certain point to make the kids thinking, increase their thinking and their cognitive faculties and so on, at a certain, and to know certain information while they're growing up. SubhanAllah. So the Sheikh said, and this is allowed. I said, Tayyib Sheikh, there are women, he said his khatiba, he said, Na'am, his fiance. Because the story, ya akhwa, is that he has a fiance. He said, the fiance. I said, Na'am Sheikh, she wears shorts and wears... The Sheikh said, the one who gets moved sexually by it, he is sick and needs to see a doctor. And when we look at drawings, are they awra or not? They are not awra. But that, and the ulama, they said what I am adding now. When the ulama, they said, when you look, whatever thing moves you sexually, then you have to stop it. Because the Shaykh, with his good nature and with his you have these mashayikh that are filling their time with the ulama and the sayings of the people of ilm and the companions and the tabi'in and tib'ut tabi'in. Of course, he tells you the one who gets moved by this, he needs to go to the hospital. The Shaykh is exaggerating to tell us that nobody gets aroused by this. But some people do, and Allah al-Musta'an, at this day and age. If that's the case, and there are sayings for the people of ilm in regards to this, if this is the case, then you do not watch. Because this leads to that which is haram. This leads to that which is haram. And then I asked him about games. I said, there are families, my family, we gather, and we play some games, for example. And the Shaykh said, yes, I know them. Like Super Mario. You know Super Mario? Very famous. I don't think any one of you doesn't know Super Mario. It is always on Nintendo. He said, so I showed him. I said, this is, I Googled it. I said, this character. He said, yes, this is Super Mario. I said, Tayyib. He said, it's allowed. So there are sayings for the people of ilm in regards to this, that this is allowed. And what is correct, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best, you are not the one who is making these. If they are tasweer, you're not the one who is making the tasweer. And looking at the tasweer is not haram. And what you're doing, you are looking at the tasweer. Tayyib, what if I'm making ya akhi, don't make a character. Click any character and that's it. That is already made. You don't need, because some people ask me, they say, we make the character itself. Don't make it, ya akhi. Stay away from the shubha. Aywa, and this brings us to a general